Jamie, it's a third defeat in a row. Another one where we've played one of the top teams and not been made to look silly. We've run them quite close. I think the first thing is that first 5 minutes when Shane gets sived down. Really, the player got nowhere near the ball.
Yeah.
Probably should have been a red card. Those decisions aren't going for us at the moment. Did you get a good view of that?
Not really, only probably what everyone else saw, but it looked like a foul. I think Shane had got a touch on the ball first and gets brought down. But yeah, it just seems, I don't know, the last few weeks that like big decisions aren't going our way, or refs aren't sort of, I don't know, stepping in to make big decisions. I think we've had it quite a lot. I think we probably could have had a sending off in the Tilbury game for a second yellow. Ref didn't do it. I think there's been a lot of inconsistent sort of performances from refs and stuff. Listen, we're not going to blame them, but they make a big impact on the games, and we've sort of had our fair share of yellow cards, red cards for similar sort of incidents. So I'm happy as long as everyone gets the same treatment, but it seems to be changing from week to week, and I'm sure every manager will say the same thing, that, you know, one week something happens to their team, the next week someone in the opposition does it and it doesn't happen. And I think everyone's happy as long as every decision is consistent, and I think of late we've had some bad ones go against us and some bad ones not go for us, but it is what it is. I felt maybe Sunrise might have been a penalty as well, but it just seemed today that, you know, we big decisions weren't being made for both teams, you know, not just us. I think even chatting to their staff, we were laughing on the sideline, you know, he's not going to give it, and he doesn't. I think there was a ball got kicked away and we were trying to take a throw and he calls the captains together. You're like, well, in the rule book is yellow card, and even their bench were laughing, and it just seemed that big decisions he didn't want to make. Whether they have an impact on the game or change the result, I don't know, but
we did have a chat with him afterwards quickly, and he said he's one of those that likes to let the game flow, doesn't like getting his cards out, but likes to think it's fair for both sides.
Yeah, I understand that. That's fine, but if there's a decision that's a red card and there's a decision that's a penalty, you can't let that flow. You have to make a decision, and I think for him, it's making a decision, like big ones, and I just think he didn't tonight, and yeah, let the game go at times, which is fine, but there comes a point where you have to make a decision on something that's quite major, and I think for both teams, I don't think that it was ref greatly. Yeah, there was a lot that was let go at times, but I think when you're looking at major calls, as in red cards or penalties and stuff, I think, you know, the ref has to stand up and make a call on that.
Yeah, we don't want to make it all about the ref, but actually the game itself, it was, from a neutral perspective, really entertaining game. I think Brentwood had most of the play in the first half, but without really creating very much. But you made some changes second half, and we really came into the game and dominated really for half an hour, but didn't quite make the chances to win the game.
Yeah, I think that's basically how I saw the game. We first half were okay. I think we defended quite well. They had a couple of half chances. I think we had one half chance with Shane, and the keeper just caught it. But I thought it was quite tight. Stupidly, I was looking to make the changes just before we conceded, and we conceded a goal from a cross, free header, and then I made a change formation, changed 3 players, and suddenly we had a lot more energy, looked a lot more comfortable, created more chances. I think overall in the second half we probably created more opportunities in their box than they did in ours. They were making sort of defensive subs, bringing off a lot of their tricky wingers and putting more defensive players on, and probably just trying to see it out. But I thought we'd give it a good go, but without sort of scoring. I think Shane had probably maybe our best chance, him and Junior, when he sort of bowed well, nicked him through, and you're just sort of thinking, just, you know, hit the target, and he's tried to put probably too much power on it and blazed it over. And then Junior has one where the touch sort of goes away from him, but still manages to poke it to keeper. Keeper drops it, and I've sort of spoke to a lot in there about anticipation and gambling and being on the front foot as it comes out off the keeper, and we're stood there watching, and I said to him that you're not going to score goals like that. There has to be an anticipation. You have to always believe that something's going to drop for you. I said, and that's why goal scorers score so many goals, because they always believe whenever the ball's around that they're going to score and the ball's going to drop here. And I said, 9 times out of 10 you'll gamble and it won't come. I said, but the one time you get it right, you'll score. And I said, most people then will forget about the ones you've missed. But when you don't gamble, you'll get pulled up on every single one, because balls will drop, no one's there. Crosses will come in the box, no one's there. I said, but you have to keep going and keep going. And we sort of lack that probably lately, and that's why we don't score many sort of so-called tap-ins or scruffy goals, because I don't think we anticipate, what might happen. Like I say, it might never happen, but good sort of goal scorers have that knack of just anticipating, and suddenly it's there and they're tapping a ball in.
Yeah, and speaking of goal scorers, we've missed Smudge really up front. He's been out for the last 3 games. We expect him back at the weekend.
Yeah, I think he landed 6 o'clock this evening. So again, I suppose as a manager, it's very frustrating. It's what you deal with in non-league, that it's not their main job. They have other jobs. It's non-league, so it's part-time football, and people take holidays when they choose throughout the season. We've obviously lost him for 3 games, so since him coming back and playing at Whittam and doing very well, and us winning and him scoring, we've obviously missed him for the last 3 games. And it's hard as a manager when you got players that are doing well for you that suddenly aren't here, not because of injury or suspension, because of a holiday. But listen, it's that player's choice. I'm sure again managers will go through it throughout the season. So it's disappointing, and we've spoke before. It's very frustrating that I never have every member of our squad available to select from. There's always 1, there's always 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, and that becomes frustrating. And I think again the team's changed. I don't know how many times in the last sort of month or 6 weeks that the starting 11 has been different. It's very hard to get sort of consistency, continuity within the group, because there's always someone that's not in the position they were before, and we've had that throughout the whole season. And that's disappointing, it's frustrating, and I think it's tough for even the boys. We've probably had 4 or 5 mainstays that have been here all the time, and then a lot of the group has chopped and changed, whether it's through holidays, illness, suspensions, whatever else. And yeah, that's been difficult, especially when we've brought a whole squad together and you're trying to build and trying to find out what the best 11 is and what suits, when you can't pick that same 11 from week to week. And again, Saturday, we'll probably change again. So it's one of them where, I don't ever go home and go, right, from a Thursday, I know everyone's fit, I'm picking this team, and they play Saturday, bang, I can pick that team. Before every game, I'm thinking, okay, what fits where, who's the best person for this position. So you're constantly chopping and changing, where managers' dream is win a game, same 11. We haven't been able to get in that sort of routine and start to get that going. So hopefully at some point we get everyone back, keep everyone fit, keep everyone on the pitch, and I can then start to pick what I consider the best 11, and it's up to them to keep winning and stay in the team. You're going to change stuff throughout the season through performances and whatnot, but I'd like to get to a point where an 11 can start to pick itself and start to move the club forward.
Yeah, it's another Brentwood. We know we're a good team. It's another top 6 potentially at the end of the season. We've now played them twice, so they're all out of the way. We start a run of games now where we're playing the teams that aren't in that top 6. Although Gray's still a very good side.
Yeah, they're not far off of it.
you must be kind of looking at putting a run together now, and you've got players back. JT's probably the only one who's injured at the moment, I think.
We're hoping maybe 2 weeks.
Maybe. 2 weeks, okay.
Yeah, of course you always look at stuff, and I don't think there's easy games in this league, but I think we've come through a run of games, especially at home. We've played 3 teams in the top 5, and you sort of look and think, okay, where are we going to pick points up? But for me, I think it's more about what team we can put out. And in the 3 games we've lost, I generally feel if we had everyone available and fit, then I think we take more points than what we have in the last 3 games. We've lost every game by 1 goal, missed chances in it. We've not been overly at our best, but it's probably, if everyone looked around and thought, well, there's 2 or 3 players that would get into the team and start. So it's not even subs or squad players, it's more players that have been playing regular for us. So I think it's more about, for me, getting the group back, and as long as I get the group back, then we're a match for anyone, and we can beat anyone. So it's not so much the teams we play, it's more what I can get out on the pitch. Hopefully now we can get everyone back. Like I say, Smudger will be back in, JT might be the only one out, and then I think you'll start to see results and performances pick up, and then we can go from there. We've got a real good batch of games from now till January, and it's important for us, like I say, not to just win one, everyone's happy, then lose a couple. We need to go on a run of games. We're good enough to do it, but we have to start it somewhere, and we thought we'd started it at Whittam, and then suddenly we lose that many players. It's very difficult, building on that. But yeah, listen, we're working hard at it. we're probably still looking at potentially bringing in a couple more players, and things might change around. You know, like I say, because it's a new group, we're always looking at what we want, what fits, what doesn't, how can we improve it. And yeah, I would like to say maybe in the next week or two that there might be some movement sort of in and out, just to give us what I feel we're lacking a bit. And then hopefully by sort of mid-Christmas time, we should hopefully get everyone that we want, and then hopefully go on a real good run.
Yeah, I was going to, just one last one, I was going to mention Dicko's come in. He's done a brilliant job for us so far. He looks like a quality footballer. You must be pleased to have him in the middle of the park as another one of those battling midfielders that will do a good job for us.
Yeah, and I think that's what we were lacking, another one. I think we needed another one in there, and he's not fully fit yet. You know, he's only come back from an injury. He played like I think a few minutes for Potter's Bar, so he's come to us not at 100%. So game by game, I think another 2 or 3 games, more training, and I think we'll see. You know, the real Dicko. He's a good player. Energetic, will fight, will die for the club, will die to win games of football, will put his body on the line. So yeah, I think maybe mid Christmas time, maybe Boxing Day onwards, he'll be up to speed a lot more, and we'll see a better Jamie Dix. So yeah, I'm pleased he's come in. He's added a lot, helps us out in an area where I think we needed a bit more strength. Because I think when we've lost JT, we've only really had Junior and sort of Al that have been sort of there, so I've always felt we needed an extra body to compete, really, let alone, you know, just to come in and start, but just to give us more bodies in that area.
Good. Well, thanks, Jamie. I know these conversations aren't easy when you're off the back of a defeat,
No,
so
we have to
it's appreciated that you do come out and speak to us.
No problem.
Thanks very much, and good luck for Saturday.
Thank you, Sean.